Hi boys and girls. So today in math we saw a review of addition, and I would like to practice that a little bit more. So what we were doing is taking our plain shapes that we've been going over in class, and then we saw a price tag or an amount that was next to each shape. And then we had to decide from the design how much it would cost if we put those two plain shapes together. So it's kind of relating to going to the store and buying items and putting together things and seeing how much they would cost. It's also practicing your addition facts. So today what I'm going to do is go over a couple examples, and we're going to work on the number sentence and how to get the answer. So first, let's just take a look at our plain shapes. So I see that I have a hexagon, and you see it's worth how much? 8 cents, that's right. Then we have our square, and that is worth 5 cents. Then we have our, do you remember the name of this plain shape? Trapezoid, very good, it's a trapezoid. It's worth 7 cents. And then we have our triangle, and that's worth 3 cents. So what we're going to do is keep these up here because we're going to use them to help us add our pictures together. So what you saw earlier today when we were doing our practice is a design, and we had to find out how much those two pieces, if we added them together, what they would cost. So right here I made a design, and I see that I used one of the squares, and then I also used one trapezoid. So now you have to decide what two numbers you're going to add together. Well, I can look on the name tags and see that my square is 5. So I can write my 5, and I know that I want to see how much it costs. I want to see how much those are two together, so I'm going to add, so we need a plus sign. And then we look at the trapezoid. Well, the trapezoid is worth 7 cents, and we only have one. So we write 5 plus 7. Now here's where I'm going to need your help. Let's solve this basic fact. We could do it a couple ways. I could draw a picture of 5 items and then 7 more. I could circle the bigger number and add on. And this one I like because I can also see a picture of it, but it also gets me to my answer a little bit faster. Or some of you may use another strategy where you pick that 5 and then you count up with 7. But I personally like the bigger number rule. I circle the bigger number, and then I made 5 dots for our 5 here. So I have 7, you can count with me, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 5 plus 7 would be 12, and I'm going to label that cents, since we're dealing with money. So this design, if I wanted to make it, it would be 12 cents, and that's how I solved. Let's do an example. So now I see that I used one square and one triangle. Kind of reminds me of a house, doesn't it? So we're going to be adding one of those squares, which was 5, and one triangle, which is 3. So before I write the number sentence, can you tell me what you think it would be? Go ahead and take a piece of paper and pencil and see if you can write the number sentence down for this design. I will also write it. You ready? Okay, so here we go. We're going to have 5, because there's one square and it's worth 5 cents, and then I'm not done yet because I have to add my triangle, which was 3. Did you get this too? Is this your number sentence? If so, that's wonderful. You got the correct answer. But there's one more thing to our number sentence. We have to find the sum, or the solution. So 5 plus 3. Lots of you by now know that off the top of your head. That's perfect. If not, try that bigger number rule. I'm going to circle the bigger number and add 3 dots, and you can count on with me. 5, 6, 7, 8. That would be 8, and don't forget to label it 8 what? 8 cents. Very good. So this design would be 8 cents. Our first design was 12 cents. So you can see which one would cost more. What do you think? The one worth 8 or the one worth 12? That's right. If you wanted to make this one, it would cost a little bit more. Let's try another example. I like this one. This one reminds me of a doubles fact, and you're going to see why. I used 2 trapezoids, so I have 2 of the same numbers. So I look at my trapezoid, it's worth 7. So I'm going to add 7 plus 7 because I have 2 trapezoids. And that's why it reminded me of a doubles fact, because you're going to see 7 plus 7. Do you know that doubles fact? It's 14. That's right, 14 cents. And if you weren't sure, all you had to do was do that bigger number rule, draw a picture, count on. So there's a couple different ways you could solve. So this design would be worth 14 cents. I added 7 plus 7. Now the next one's going to be a little bit different, and we saw that today. The next one, we're not adding 2 numbers together. If you notice the ones that we already had, we only had 2 plain shapes. We only had 2 blocks. This one is going to be a little bit more. It's going to have 3. So what does that tell you? How many numbers are we going to add together? If we have 3 shapes, that means we're going to add 3 numbers together. That's right. This time we have a trapezoid, a triangle, and we also have a square. First thing I do is write my number sentence to see what 3 numbers I'm going to be working with. So you can help me on this one. Let's start with our trapezoid. It's worth 7 cents, so I write 7 plus. Let's move over to the triangle. It's worth 3. Am I done yet? Nope, that's right. I still have 1 more shape. I need my square, so I add plus 5. There we go. Now, adding 3 numbers is the same as adding 2 numbers. So you could still do the bigger number rule, and this other way we talked about is circling 2 and adding those 2 first. So what I like to do is find 2 that I can add quickly together. So I know this is making 10. I know that 7 plus 3, right off the top of my head, it equals 10. So I'm going to circle those 2, and I write 10 above. So now I have 10, and I still have to add plus 5. Don't forget that other third number. Sometimes we add those 2 and say, I'm done, but you forgot to add in that last number. So I have 10 plus 5, and you know what, just to help me, I might make 5 dots so I can count on. So I'm going to go 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So that design all together would be 15 cents. And I got that answer by adding 3 numbers together because there are 3 blocks. Does that make sense? Good. All right. The very last one. I want you to do on your own right now. Tell a buddy, tell your mom, tell your brother, tell your sister at home how you would solve this problem. I want you to write a number sentence. Remember, our number sentence looks like this. Is it going to have 3 like the previous one, or are you going to be adding 2 numbers? Well, let's take a look. How many blocks do you see? I see 1 hexagon, 1 trapezoid, and then another hexagon. If you said we're adding 3 numbers, you're right. Go ahead and write the number sentence, or tell mom or dad or your brother or sister what the number sentence is going to say. What 3 numbers are we going to add together? While you do that, I'm going to work on it, and then we'll see if we agree. Let's see, so I look at my hexagon. Did you get it? All right, let's see if we match. So this is what you came up with. I have 8 plus 8 because I have 2 hexagons. And then I added 1 more for the trapezoid, 7 cents. Now, if you said 8 plus 7 plus 8, is that still the same thing? Yes, of course. I wrote it so I could add my doubles fact first and then add on my 7. So what I'm going to do is circle 8 plus 8 because I know that off the top of my head. I solve 8 plus 8 and that equals 16. I'm not done yet. I still have to add in that 7. So I'm going to make 7 dots for me. So I have 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So if I add those 3 numbers together and I have to squeeze in my cent mark, it would equal 23 cents. Boys and girls, so I hope that makes a little more sense. And what I want you to do is kind of the same thing at home. See if you can draw your own shapes, give them a price tag, and maybe make some designs like I did and solve to see how much they would cost together. You can give them to your mom or dad, or you can solve them on your own. Bye, boys and girls.